There we go. So in 2.2, it's the continuation of frequency distributions and their graphs, right? We're just looking at more ways of representing your data, right? That's all it is. You're just trying to see more ways to look at the stuff that you're dealing with, like, oh, how to organize it, how to make it look nice, and how to, interpret it. So in 2.2, we're going to cover these types of graphs right here: a stem and leaf plot, a dot plot, a pie chart, a Pareto chart, scatter plot, and a time series chart. It sounds like a lot, and it kind of is, but I'm telling you, it's not too bad, right? And we're going to start off with this first one, which is called a stem and leaf plot. A stem and leaf plot is similar to a histogram, but it's basically on its side, right? So it's vertical. The numbers that you have is vertical, and it goes this way instead of going up and down. Okay. Each number is separated into a stem, and then the leaf is something that breaks down from that stem. So given the data set 21, 25, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 36, 36, so on and so forth, the example right here represents how we organize that as a stem and leaf. The numbers right here is where our stems are. The number on the right-hand side over there extends how far our leaf goes, right? Now, how does this work? If you look at the example number 26 right there, the 26 would be written on this stem where the 2 is. So these are all the 20s, by the way. And this right here represents your 26. So this data point right here, for example, will represent 21. This is 25, 25, 26, 27, 28. That's these guys right here. When you get to 30, you go to your next stem, right? You go to your next stem. So 30 would be this one down here, and then 36 would be the ones that follow it. And then 45 would be the next stem after that. So that's all it is. It just counts, right? It just counts. So real quick here. So if I were to make a key, if I were to write down like this, 2 with a line and a 6 there, this represents the number 26, right? That's all a stem and leaf is. Have you guys ever seen a stem and leaf before? They should have taught you this in middle school, but then again, not every middle school covers all this stuff. But does this kind of look like you've kind of seen it before, maybe, hopefully? If not, that's okay. This is your first time, that's fine. But we're gonna work on this together. All right. How do you set up a stem and leaf? Well, let's do one together here, right? The following numbers of text messages. The following are the numbers of text messages sent last month by the cell phone user. Wow, my dyslexia is just kicking in hard right now. Give me a second. Let's try that again. Never got it taught. Okay, so this will be your first time seeing it. But let me refresh myself there. Trying to read. The following are the numbers of text messages sent last month by the cellular phone users on one floor of a college dormitory. I think I'm bothered because it says the word cellular. Anyway, cell phone users on one floor of a college dormitory. Display the data in a stem and leaf plot. Unordered and ordered stem and leaf plot. What can you conclude? So we're going to organize this right here, right? And if you guys look closely here, these are numbers that represent the number of text messages that were sent by different people on the first floor of a college dorm. So this right here, one person sent 155 text messages in a month. Another person sent 109 text messages, right? Oh, this poor person only sent 78 text messages, right? Or maybe he just doesn't prefer text messages. I don't know. Is this like super dated? Do you guys even text each other anymore? Are you guys only dealing with like, other messengers? I don't know if anyone actually uses like texting to like different numbers. I think people use like, was it like Apple Message, or that's not Apple Message. That's making yourself sound like poorly old. But anyways, I don't text back, so I don't know. I mean, you have to text back. All right. So here's the deal. There's a bunch of numbers here. So how would I make this stem and leaf? So for example, 78 would be my smallest number, right? So I would say that my stem would be a 7, and then my leaf would be that 8, and that would represent my 78 data point, right? But hopefully you guys can see though, what am I gonna do for the numbers that are bigger than 78? Like a lot of these are in the hundreds, right? So how would I cover, for example, let's say 155? Well, I would have to do it this way. I'd have to write it as a 15, right? And then the 5 would be on the other side, and that's how I'd write the 155. Does that make sense? Right? Using your key is very important, because just because I draw the line there, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be 78, right? It might be 7.8, or it might be 780. You have to make sure you create a key so that, or look at a key when you're dealing with these things, so you can see what number is your data representing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do this right here. I'm going to number these out. The smallest number I saw there was 78. So that means on my stem part, I'm going to have a 7 on this side. And then the biggest number I see is 159. So I need to work all the way down to 15. So I'm going to write these numbers on the side here. 7, 8. And of course, this is not representing 7, right? This represents 70. This represents 80, 90, 100, 110, 112, 113, 114, and 115. Are you guys okay with that? That's going to be my stem, right? That's my numbers that I have right here on the, oh God, come on. Oh, here we go. There. That's my number that's going to be on the right, and then everything I write to the right of that on the leaf will represent my data. Why? Right? Will represent my data. Now here's the thing though. There's so many numbers there. I need to do this ordered, right, to make this look nice. But you know how horrible that would be to try to look through all these numbers. Like, okay, there's 78, right? Now I gotta look for the next one. Shoot, where's 80? That means you gotta go through all of them and look for that. That's ridiculous. There's an easier way, right? The easier way to do this, right, is just to write them down in unordered form first. Just write it down unordered. You ready? How would I do this unordered? I would just go through one line at a time, right? You ready for this? So I'm going to erase this and just start this over, and I'll just do it from the very first line. Very first line is 155. Do you see that right there? So I'll just go down here and I write a 5, and I cross it off. 155 is done. Go to the next one, 159. Just write a 9 right next to it. Now this right here looks confusing, right? You're like, what the heck is that 59 doing down there? It's not 59, okay? It's not 59. I hope you guys are understanding. This is 155. That's the one I just crossed off right there. And the next number is 159. That's that next number right there. And this is what I mean by writing it in unordered. We just go through from left to right and just write down what we see. 144, that's this guy right here. And I go back and cross that out. Next one is 129. I go ahead and write that there, and I cross that out. I'll pause for a second, give you guys a second if you guys want to set this up on your Cami, right? I'm sorry if I went too fast there, but that's to give you guys a second there to set that up on your Cami. This is all I'm doing, right? I'm just going through there and I'm just looking at the numbers and I cross them out as I write them. So this right here is 105. So it'd be at the 100 part, and I just write a 5 right there, and that's what represents that 105. Okay? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Guys, let me know if I'm going too fast. If not, I'm just going to keep going through here and typing these numbers down, or crossing the numbers off. Or better yet, do you have a question so far? Have I lost you at all on how I'm writing these numbers down? Right? Let me know. Let me know. Sorry, I think my laptop's like overheating. It's always overheating. Anyways, let's keep going then. It sounds like it doesn't seem like you guys have any questions right now. All of the above. Speed up and slow down? Why are you starting at 7? Okay. In this particular case, I was looking for the smallest number out of all of my data. This is my data up here. Right? I was looking for the smallest number. And the smallest number I was able to find was 78. So I decided to start at that 70, right? 78 is the smallest one. That's the only real reason why I started at 7. I could have started at 6 or 5 or 4 or even 0, right? But to make it fit, I just picked the number that I would have on my data point right there. So I went from 7, and then I just started counting down, right? This would be 70 right here. This 7 right here represents 70, and everything from 70 to 79, right? This 8 right here represents from 80 to everything to 89, right? This represents 90 to 99, and this 10 represents 100 to 109, right? It's a shortcut, so I don't have to write those numbers down like that. I could just write down the 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way down to 15. So what I'm doing right now is, after you set that up, you go up here and you look at a data point. So this data point right here is going to be 145. I'm going to cross that out, 145. And I go down here and I look, oh, there's 140, and I just put a 5 right there. I put a 5 right there. So what I've written down right here represents that I have 2 data points. I have a data point at 144, right? And I have another data point at 145. See it? So I have a 144 and 145. And that's all I'm doing here. I'm just going through each one of these and I'm just counting it out. So the next one's going to be 120. Next one's going to be 126. It's going to be right there. 116. 130. 114. 122. 112. 112 again. So you just write a 2 right next to that again. 142. 126. And 118. I'll pause there because we just finished the whole row and I did that kind of quick, but does that clear it up on how I set this up? Does it clear it up on how I'm writing down these stems and these leaves? What do you think? Does it make sense? Is it okay? Is it not okay? Makes sense? Okay, good. I'm glad it does. Okay? I'm glad. So things like this kind of get messy, so I'm going to go ahead and change the color right here. You never have to change the color, by the way. It's just up to you on how you decide to do this and how you decide to mark it, right? So I'm changing the color to blue for this part, for the second line right here. And I'm going to write these numbers down as I go along here. So next one is going to be 118, 108, 122, 121, 109, 140, 126, 119, 113, 117, 118, 109, twice, 119, 139, twice. Luis, I'm lost. Okay. So you too, Angie? Okay. Luis, thank you for asking then. You not only helped yourself, but you're also helping Angie here. So let's start off with where you're lost. Okay. Are you lost at how I got the numbers over here on the left-hand side? Like, are you lost at all on how I got these guys right here, the 7 through 15? Did I lose you there? Yes. Okay. Let's start at the very beginning then. Okay. So in the very beginning, you're going to be given a bunch of numbers. Okay. So come back here. So focus right now. All right. So when we're doing this and they ask you to, let's say at the very start, I'm going to zoom out here. So guys, if you're still doing it, you can go ahead and move on and just finish it up. I'm going to do this part right here just to talk. When they ask you to display the data in a stem and leaf plot, right? To display the data as a stem and leaf plot, they're always going to give you a crap ton of numbers, and then you have to organize them. And the way we organize them is by using this guy right here. This is called a stem and leaf plot. The numbers on the left represent your stem. The numbers on the right are the parts of the leaf. Let me show you how this works then. So let's go with the smaller one right here that we did earlier. All right, this is the data right here, 21 to 45. The stem and leaf is going to look like this, right? Whereas 21 would be this guy right here. See? And then 25 is written right there, 25, 26, 27, and 28. So that all right there represents these guys right here from 21 to 28. Okay? 3, 0, and then the 6 and the 6 right there represents the 30, 36, 36 right there. And then the last one would be the 45, and that represents this guy right here. And that's all stem and leaf is. It's like if you had, like, for example, like here, 0, 1, 2, and 3, and the numbers over here was like, let's say 5. There's a 1 there, there's a 3 here, and there's a 4 there, right? If I was looking at this stem and leaf right here, right, I would say that the numbers I had from my list would then be 5, 11, 23, 24, and then that's it. There's no other numbers at the 30, so that's my stem and leaf, and this is my data. That would be looking like this if I wrote it as a stem and leaf, right? Angie, are you okay so far? Luis, are you guys okay so far? Hopefully. Yes or no? Yeah, kind of. Okay. Kind of. Yeah. Okay. So when we were doing this problem, right, before I crossed it all out, I looked for the smallest number. The smallest number was 78. So I knew in my mind that my stem needs to have a 7 in the front and an 8 in the back. And if I do that, then I need to make sure I cover for the hundreds places as well. So I was saying, oh, then 15 would be 159 is the largest number. So I need to go all the way to 15 on that stem part. So I just wrote those numbers down, 7 all the way down to 15 on the side right here. And when I wrote those down, right, what this represents, right, what this 7 represents doesn't represent the number 7, actually. It represents the number 70 to 79. So if I have a number in my data that's between there, right, y7 and 15, look at the data. Look at the numbers that are on the list there. The largest number that I have is 159. The smallest number that I have is 78, right? So to write 78 using the stem and leaf, I write it as a 7 with the 8 following it. And that's how I know to start at the 7. Whereas the 159, I know that it needs to start with a 15, so I'm going to write that down here. So I need to make sure I cover all possible datas from 7 to 15. Does that make sense? It's just because it's the largest number and the smallest number. That's what I use to get that. Does that make sense, Luis? I'm not sure if that makes sense. It's all because of the 78 and the 159. Looking at the data, that's the biggest number and that's the smallest number. That's all it is. It's just the biggest number and the smallest number, and I wrote that down. And the reason why that works is because if you look at this 7, the 7 is supposed to represent all your data that's between 70 to 79, and 15 down here is supposed to represent 150 to 159. That's what it's supposed to represent. So this is just a way of us organizing your data into these classes like we did in the last section. But now it's just a little bit easier because you just write the number down as a tally mark, right? So let me show you. Let's go to the next one. Let's pick another. I'm going to go to this row right here, right? And this row has the data point 122. Okay. What I'm saying is 122 on this stem and leaf, you would go to where 12 is right here and write a 2 right there. Because what that represents, this 12 with this 2 back here, it represents the 122. Does that make sense? Angie? Luis? Does it make sense or does it not make sense? You're like, kinda. Well, let's just keep doing them, right? Let's just keep doing them, and then we'll do another one. And hopefully it'll make sense on the next one. All right, we'll just keep going here. So let's finish up this problem real quick. So 78, right? Let's mark that in red. 78 would be right here on my stem and leaf. Makes a little bit of sense. Okay, just a little bit's fine. We're working our way there, right? Working our way there. This next one is 133. 133 would go down here to 130 with a 3 right there. This is 126. So that goes to 120 with a 6. This next one is 123. So it goes to 120 with a 3 right there. 145 goes to 140 with a 5 right there. 121, 134, 124, 119, 132, 133, 124, 129, 112, 126, and then the last one, we'll do this one in purple, which is going to be 148 and 147. It doesn't have to be in order? Yes, Luis, it does have to be in order. It does have to be in order, but right now we're just doing it out of order just because it just makes it easier to count. But you see on the right-hand side there, it says ordered. We're going to do it in order. We're going to put them in order on the right-hand side, and then the data will be nice and organized, right? Right now, we're just breaking them into their classes, and then once they're in their classes, we can order them afterwards. Okay? So we're able to screenshot this and put it on our notes because it's hard to write and draw using Chromebook. Of course, you can screenshot right now if you want. If you're on your Chromebook, Grace, do you know what the buttons are to screenshot? Hopefully you still remember it. It should be Control. You hold Control, then you hold Shift. Yeah, or you already know. And you press the little button with the box with the lines. Yeah, I do. Okay, you got it. So yeah, you can always just screenshot what I'm doing here, and then just put it onto your notes if you want. Of course, by the oh, there's the 3 dots in the corner. Oh, all right. As long as you got a way that works. As long as you got a way that works. I didn't know there's 3 dots in the corner. Ugh. Okay. Now, as Luis has been patiently waiting for, right? He's been patiently waiting for this part. We're going to order them now. Okay. So for the ordered stem and leaf, I write those numbers down again. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It bothers me a little bit that they're not lining up. So give me 1 second. I know that's not important, but 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now that I have all these written down, I just have to put them in order, and I just put them in order as I go through each of the lists. So right here, 78 is already in order. That's just there. That's good. That's done. There was no numbers in the 80s, and there was no numbers in the 90s, so there's nothing to write there. Now I go down here. For the 100s, I put them in order. So it looks like it's already in order. There's 105, 108, and then the 9s. So that was already in order. That one's nice. But look at the 11s. Look at the 11s. Look at this row right here. This is going to be looks like here, we just look for the smallest numbers first of all. So there's no zeros, there's no ones. The smallest number that I see is 2. So there's 1, 2, 3 2s. So I write that down. 3 2s. What's the number after that? There's a single 3 right there. Are there any 4s? There's a single 4 right there. Are there any 5s? No 5s, but they do have a 6. I have a single 7. 2 8s right there and right there. Oh, 3 8s. I'm sorry. 3 8s right there. And then 1, 2, 3 9s. Oh my goodness. That's just, why did I write like that? There you go. Wait, I was eating. Where'd you get that from? I'm lost. All right, Lizzie. Where'd I get what from? If it's from the left-hand side, that was me going through all the numbers up here in the top.
Okay, so we're repeating what we did on the
left-hand side? Yeah. So okay. All I'm doing now on the right-hand side is you see all the numbers I have here that I wrote from the beginning part?
Yeah.
I'm just putting them in order now. I'm just putting them in order.
Oh, okay.
So to get this part right here, I just took the numbers I got from earlier and just put them in order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Then we're going to go down and we're going to do the same thing for 12, right? I have all the numbers in 12 right there. I'm going to go ahead and write these ones down here. So there's no zeros in there, but there are ones. And I count to myself. There are 1, and then there's a second one. So there's 2 1s. And then go ahead and count how many 2s there are. 1, 2, 3. Am I doing that right? I think there's 3 2s. 1, 2, 3. How many 3s are there? 1. There's a single 3, I think. And let's see, what else? How many 4s are there? 1, 2. 2 4s. Not bad. How many 5s are there? No 5s. But there's a crap ton of 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6s. Oh yeah, the line is just there to separate them. Just so you don't need that line. How I erase that. I just put that there just to put it there. Technically, when you're doing this, you could make lines just so it's more organized for you, but you don't need that line. I was just drawing that line just so you could see the separation between the two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then after that I have 1, 2 9s, and there we go, and there we go. And we just keep going. We just keep doing this for all of them. This next one is going to be 0, 2. There's 2 3s there. There's a single 4, and then there's 2 9s there. One after that has a 0, a 2, a 4, 2 5s, a 7, and an 8. And the very last one has a 5 and a 9. And that's your ordered stem and leaf plot. That's it. That is it right there. You can kind of see it, right? Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. And again, if it doesn't, we're going to practice this, right? We're going to try this more and more until we get it right, or until we get it down. Now, when you do this, like for example, on your Kami, right? As some of you were saying, like it's really hard to write this by hand. You could just use the tool to type as well. You just type the numbers out. Actually, I think it might be easier if you just type the numbers out. Yeah, it might be easier if you just type the numbers out. But either way, with that being said, for our next example, I want us to do it together on Pear Deck. I want to see your attempts. I want to see your answers. And on Pear Deck, you guys can actually just type on there as well, right? So just type the numbers out and then draw a line and then type the numbers to the right of it. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me start up this Pear Deck real quick. I want you guys to go ahead and jump into this. Give me a second, I'll get the link. And we're gonna, are you guys okay if I scroll down to the next problem? If not, I'll just leave it up for right now, but I'm gonna put the link to the Pear Deck into the chat right now. Right there. So this is for the next problem, for the we'll do one or slash you try, right? Let me open up this. So we're gonna scroll down to the next one. Let's go ahead and close that. So again, if you don't have the link, it's right there in the chat. Maybe joinpd.com. Access code is EXCCHV. You can go ahead and type that out. Yeah, so that's this one down here. So we're going to do a stem and leaf for this one. We're going to start off with it unordered, and then we're going to start off with it ordered. I'm going to cheat and use this thing to draw my straight line. And I'm going to do it over here. Of course, you could just insert a table on your guys's. You don't have to draw a straight line. You could just insert a table and just have it automatically like line it for you if you want to do it that way. My job right now is to figure out what the heck should the numbers go on the stem from top to bottom here, right? From top to bottom. And I messed up on your on your Pear Deck. I gave you the answer already, didn't I? What do you think the numbers should start at? Well, what's the smallest number you see? The smallest number I see is 7, right? What's the largest number you see? 86. Right? So I'm going to create my key, first of all. Here's my key. And it looks like it's already on your Pear Deck, but you can put it in your notes. Your key, I would say, is from 0 to 7. I'm sorry, 0 is my stem and 7 right there. This is going to represent 7. And then 8 and 6 right here will represent 86. So this is what my stem and leaf should look like. The 0 is the smallest number. The 86 is the largest number. So when I set up my stem and leaf here, it should be set up as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Are you impressed that penmanship went from 0 to 8 and it fits perfectly? I'm impressed. I don't normally write that well. In fact, I'm going to cheat a little bit here and just going to take what I have right there. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it over here. I'm impressed. Thank you. All right, I'll pause there for a second. Can you guys go ahead and set that up? If you only want to do it once, you can on the Pear Deck. If you only want to do the ordered stem, you can. But I'm doing it twice just because it's going to make my life a little bit easier, right? So when you guys are setting this up, don't forget the 0, by the way. Some of you guys are starting off at 1 and you're forgetting the 0. Why am I including 0? Why am I not just starting off at 1? Why is that 0 important in this case? Why does that need to be there? Because there's a 7. That's exactly it, Frankie. That's right. I don't know, honestly. And that's perfectly fine. Can you put the link again? Of course. But yeah, yeah, he answered yeah, that's it. It's because of the 7. There you go, Lizzie. Sorry about that. I had to copy that. But yeah, it's because of the 7. If that 7 wasn't there and the smallest number was like, let's say 17, then I would start off at 1. I would go 1, 2, 3 because the 1 represents your tens, right? The 0 represents your ones. Like if you had 5, 6, 7, those need the 0 in there, right? By the way, you can actually use this to display like test scores in a class, right? Like for example, the 86 could be someone who got an 86 on the test, and then this right here would be their their representation of it. Of course, that'd be sad if this was a test score, because then who got a 7 on a test would make that very, very sad. What does this data represent, by the way? The following sample data set lists the number of minutes 50 internet subscribers spent on the internet during their most recent session. Oh, this is just like from 2.1. So out of these 50 people, one person only spent 7 minutes on the internet, and another person spent 86 minutes on the internet for one session, right? So that's all this represents. So if you guys have already started, you can get in there. Wow. I am impressed by some of you guys who are writing the numbers by hand. That is crazy. I was expecting most of you guys to just type out the numbers. Yeah, just type out the numbers. That'll be fine. Just type out the numbers. You don't have to write it. You don't have to write it by hand. I am impressed though by your ability to do so. That's beautiful. Okay, so you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Now I'm gonna go through, right? I'm gonna go through the first line of numbers, and I'm just going to write them down as I see them, right? I'm just going to write them down on the unordered part, So I'm going to start off over here. So for the unordered, I'm going to start off right here. The first number I see is 50. So I'd go down to 5, and I write a 0 there. That represents your 50. That 5 with the line and the 0 represents the data point of 50. Okay? Did it click, Miguel? Does it make sense now? Right? It makes a little bit more sense once you see it, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, that's what you've been doing this whole time. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to do it now. What's the next one? 40. Where would that one go? I'd go down to 4 and put a 0. That's my 40. That's it. The only reason why it looks confusing now is once you start having a lot of numbers next to each other. But the way a stem and leaf works is every number that's on the leaf part is a single number only. You would never write like a 2-digit number on the leaf part. You'd only write a single digit. So 41 would be right here, right? And the reason why I know that should not be confusing is I would not look at this as 401. I would not look at this as 0 and a 1. I just look at them as separate numbers. It's 40 and 41. Okay, we just keep going. 17, 11, 7, 22, 44, 28, 21, 19, 23, 37, 51, 54, 42, and 86. How easy is it for you guys to type it? Is it okay? Or is it like not okay because it's like weird? Looks okay. Looks okay. It's slow, not okay. Oh, it's annoying and it takes time. Yeah. I agree with those statements. You know what I should have done was I should have set it up so you guys could easily type into a box when I made your notes for this Pear Deck. Yeah, I should have made it so it was easier to type. All right, let me do this then. Let me just go through this so then that way you can just write the numbers down quickly. All right, so let me list these out for you guys. Let's do the next one here. 41, 78, 56, 72, 56, 17, 7, 69. Nice. 30, 80, 56, 29, 33, 46, 31. Almost messed up on the 31, 39, 20, Sorry, Mister. I got that. Don't worry about it, Isaiah. If you're not able to do it on the Pear Deck, that's fine. Just do what you can. If you want to just do it on your notes, that's fine as well. This is just something that makes it easier for me to see. Marissa, that is genius, by the way. How are you doing that to make it all in the same line? If you guys want to hear this out, Marissa's doing it by just typing all the numbers out and then going back and putting a dash between the stem and the leaf. Let me just show you this answer. Sorry, Marissa, I'm just going to share what you're doing with everybody. But it's just too impressive to not share it. Here's how she's doing it. So she's able to just type it right here. So as she's doing it, she's just typing the numbers next to it. So she didn't have to like worry about writing it to make it fit perfectly. So we can see the line right there. Okay. I have a touchpad, so it's like easier to write with. So you guys can do it however is easiest for you. All we care about is getting the info organized. Okay. So that's that one right there. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. This next one. 18, 29. Wait, I put the 18 on the wrong spot. 18, 29, 34, 59, 73, 77, 36, 39, 30, 62, 54, 67, 39, 31, 53, and 44. Whew. Oof. It's not too bad though, right? Like the work itself isn't too bad. It's just like some of you guys are saying, it takes time, right? It takes time. And I agree, it takes time. But again, it's not like horrible, right? Like it's doable, right? It's doable. Right, but it's not too bad. I'm hoping. I'm hoping that you guys don't think it's too bad. All right. Now that you have all these down, right? Now that you have all these down, you got to go through and put them in order, right? And you just go to each row and just put them in order, one row at a time. So the first row, right, is already in order. It looks like it's just 7 and 7. 7 and 7. And then we keep going, and you just go through each one, put each one in order. So I'll do a couple of these, and I'm gonna wait for you guys to do them, and I want to see what you guys get. Lizzie, I am super impressed, by the way, at your. Did you write all of those by hand? That is amazing.
I have like a little pen
Okay.
and a touch laptop, so I'm like cheating,
Okay.
kind of.
Okay. I was about to say, you did that with your mouse. Impressed. Okay, good job. Good job. Keep going, guys. If you already know how to put them in order, go ahead and do so. All right, keep going. You don't have to wait for me. But if you are still lost, you can wait for me as well. Either way, I'm just going to start putting them in order right now. So look at this guy right here, and I just put them in order. 1, 7, 7. Sorry, my writing is a little off. 8 and a 9. Go on to the next one. 0, 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and 9. At any point, guys, please let me know if you have any questions on what I'm doing here, right? Especially when I'm putting it in order. I'm not actually explaining anymore, but to get from here to there, right? I'm taking the numbers that are in this row, and I'm just placing them in order. Okay, so there was 1, the 0 was the smallest, so I put that first. 1, 2, 3, and then 8, and then 9 and 9, and that's all I'm doing, right, to get those numbers there. There we go. So let's keep going. at the 3 row, I have 2 30s, so that's going to go down there. 30, 30, and then how many ones do I have? There's 2 of them. What's next after that? So I got the zeros marked off. I got the ones marked off. There's starting to be too many numbers here, so I got to mark it as I go or else I get lost. Next one up is a 3. So I like to write that down. A 4, a 6, a 7, and 1, 2, 3 9s. 3 9s for that one. We keep going to the next one here. This is going to be 40. We got 2 1s. We got a 2. We got 2 4s. And we got a 6. Keep going. Next one down here. 0, 1, no 2s, a single 3, 2 4s. Then we got the devil's number. And a 9. And a 9. Next one up for the 60s, we got a 62, 67, and a 69. 70s, we got 72, 73, 77, and 78. And we have an 80, and we have an 86. Whew. Not bad, right? But I agree with Michael and Christina. You guys are right. It takes time, right? It's tedious. But you got to admit, though, right? This is not bad. This technique is not bad to look at your data, right? Just by looking at this, right? What can you interpret from this? So you can kind of see like, what do you think would be the average amount of time spent on the internet based off of this data? What would you guess if you had to guess just by looking at this? What is the average amount of time that people are using the internet for based off of this? You guys have any guesses? Just by looking at it? What's something that you can draw from this? It's a 6 for the row of 8. Good catch. Thank you, Mike. Good catch. Good catch. It is a 6. 86 is the most, right? We even said that earlier. So the fact that I wrote down 88 would mean that I was wrong on the highest number. But yeah, good catch. Yeah, let me keep asking this. Looking at it now in an ordered stem and leaf plot, right? What's something that you can draw just by looking at all these numbers right here? What's the conclusion that you can make, or just anything? What do you notice? Right? Hopefully you notice, well, the shortest amount of time someone spent on the internet is 7 minutes. Right? Something else you can notice is the most someone spent was 86 minutes. Right? Of course, that's not an awesome observation because you could just look at the original data and you can say that, right? But looking at it as a stem and leaf, though, is there anything else that you can kind of hopefully see based off of the stem and leaf? 30 to 60 minutes seems like an average. Yeah, I can see that, right? Most people use it from 30 to 60 minutes. That's another way of looking at it, right? Those are two separate things, by the way. An average, right? It looks like what the average amount of people are using it for. But what Calvin is saying is most people use it for. So each of these numbers represents one person, right? So when you look at all of these people, this is a clumped up number of people, isn't there? There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 out of 50 people are between 30 to 60 minutes, right? Or I'm sorry, 30 to 69 minutes, I should say, not just 30 to 60, right? If you did 30 to 60, it would actually be up to 59 right there. Actually, you could actually say it like that too, huh? From 30 to 59, right, is the majority of it, right? So yeah, you can see like an average, a majority. You do up to 60. Yeah, that makes more sense. Not up to 69. That was my fault. It goes up to, would you include 60? That's the next thing, right? So looking at this, you can actually see where the majority of people are using the internet, right? You can also see the average of that. And those are two different things, by the way, but we'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys want, you can take a screenshot of this if you don't want to, write all these out or type them by hand. You can take a screenshot of this and put it on your notes if you want. Or you can take the screenshot of your beautiful work that you did on your Pear Deck and put that in your notes. I would suggest you put the one that you put on your Pear Deck into your notes because that just looks very, very pretty, right? By the way, just because I cross out these numbers as I go doesn't mean you guys have to do it that way as well, right? I just that's my own personal way of crossing it out. Okay, but yeah, you guys should put the ones that you guys put. It looks awesome. These notes are getting saved. Yes, of course. These notes are always going to be saved and they'll always be posted. It's always the same link, by the way. When you go to the, where is it? Where are you? Here? Yeah, whenever you go to my homepage, the link to the notes will always be here, which is right here for period 2 and period 5. When you click on it, what notes are these? This is 2.2. We're on 2.2, right? So check this out. When you click on period 5, I guarantee it, you'll have notes even from chapter 1 on here. It's all in the same spot. I saved it this way just so you guys can find it. So right here, period 5, 2021, this is your school year. So unit 1 notes, they're all still here, right? Including the practice tests. But what you want to see is what we're doing today, which is unit 2. I might be lagging my computer because I'm clicking on everything. Work faster. There we go. And today's notes is 2.2, frequency distribution and their graphs, which you guys notice is the same title as 2.1 because there's just that many graphs. All right, we'll let this load. Give it a second. There we go. So here's what we did today, right? We talked about stem and leaf, right? Here it is. And check this out, guys. If you were not able to screenshot it, you can come to this page on your own and just take a look here. All the info that we wrote down today. This is literally what I just wrote down. Shows up on here. So you can see it right here. So if you don't have it screenshotted, you can come back here and screenshot it to put in your notes for yourself, right? Or write it out for yourself, whichever way you want to do it. Okay, so those notes will always be here. Notes on the homepage, click on period 5. Everything I write, everything I show up on this video stays there. Okay, all right. Let's see here, where we at? We got 20 minutes, perfect. Let's go on to this next part. This next one is a dot plot. Dot plot. The dot plot. Each data entry is plotted using a point above a horizontal axis. And we're looking at it for these guys right here. So for the data 21, 25, 25, 26, and so on, I would just go on this number line and just make a dot where that data is. So 21 has a dot there. There's two 25s. That's why there's 2 dots at 25. They represent both those datas. And then there's 26, 27, 28, and there's 2 more points at 36. So that's why there's 2 dots there and a single dot at 45. Dot plot is super straightforward, super easy. All we're doing is just drawing dots on a number line, right? Yeah, give me 1 second before we actually go on to this example to do it. I wanted to look at something real quick here. Let me move that over here and hide the responses now and go back over here. So give me 1 second, and we're gonna take a look at this one right here, right? This one right here, what I'm technically supposed to do, right, is draw a number line all the way across. And then I'm supposed to number it from the smallest number all the way to the largest number. And honestly, that's just going to take a very long time because check this out. The smallest number is 78, right? And I'm supposed to go 78, 79, 80, 81. And we looked at this data earlier, right? And we know that there's nothing from 80 to 81, right? It goes all the way up to, where's my mouse? It goes all the way up to 150. What's the biggest number there? 159, right? So 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. That's just, I agree with you, Jada. That's just a no, right? I'm not going to have you do that. That's just a no. So how are we going to do this in this class, right? How are we going to do this in the class? The beauty of this is when we did this on paper notes, I did have my students do this by hand, by the way. This is how much it sucked, is because we had paper notes, we had to do it by hand. But once we moved to everybody was 1-to-1 and everybody had a Chromebook, right? We don't need to do this by hand anymore. We don't need to do this by hand anymore. We can use our computers to graph these dot plots for us, and we could just screenshot and put it into our notes. You ready? I'm gonna put it on the screen right now, and you guys can take this and screenshot it and put it on your notes. But at the same time, I want to show you where I get this from. So first of all, let's just get this so you guys have this in your notes before the end of today. All right, so I'm gonna put this right here. And then, oops, that covers that. So I'll put that right there so you guys can screenshot this, put this in your notes. And if you look, the program cheats a little bit. It doesn't do a dot for every single line. It does it for by tens. Okay? Now, the second thing is I want to show you guys how I got this. All right, so screenshot that first, and then let me show you how I got this and what program I use to do this so that you guys can do this as well. Give me 1 second. I need to go find my list of programs that I used. So let's see here. I believe it was I think it was this one. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think it was this site. All right. So this is going to suck just a little bit. Even with this shortcut, it sucks still a little bit, okay? So just bear with me. All right. Were you able to screenshot that? If not, I'll put it back up in a second. But here is the link to a site that will draw your dot plot for you. I'll put the link into the chat so you don't have to type this all out. But here. You do not have to bookmark it, but you should bookmark it just to make your life a little bit easier. Right? Look at all this stuff. There's just so much stuff going on here. But all we're really going to focus on is once you get to the site, we're going to need to do a one categorical variable. Or is it quantitative? Oh, God, I forgot how to do this. Give me 1 second. Was it this one? And then what happens if I do categorical? Which one was categorical? No, not category. It is the one quantitative. Well, duh, knock me. You're looking at quantities, so they're numbers. You teach this stuff, right? All right, so yeah. So we have this right here, right? And we're going to input raw data. Okay. I got the book from the Media Center. Cool. Yeah, so you don't have to wait for me to upload the problems then. But check this out. So what this site does is you can type in your datas here, like 4, and then just separate them with commas. So 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 2, and 3. And then you can begin analysis on it. And this is where I get my dot plot. All the numbers I put into here gets placed into a dot plot for me, right? All the numbers that I have up here gets placed into a dot plot for me. So what I'm saying is, and this is the part that's going to suck, right? Are you ready why this sucks? Is I took all these numbers right here and I typed them into this program. Now you say, what? And I agree with you. That's very time consuming. But that's exactly what I did. Now, for you guys who have this open on Kami, I believe Kami makes it so you can copy and paste numbers, right? This site requires the numbers to be separated with commas. So what's nice is this practice problem, I believe on Kami, has them separated with commas as well. But I haven't tested this out yet, so you're testing this out with me live here. I'm going to see if this works. Okay, so this is the Kami page, right? This is the notes that you've been working on, and here is the number line right here. So what I'm saying is, see right here? Oh, please let this work. Can I highlight this, and then Control C to copy, and then go over here and do you guys see that? Did you see what I did? I don't know if you saw what I did. I'm very excited. So this is beautiful. So Kami has it so it recognizes the text there, and all the numbers need to be separated by a comma. The link I put into the chat, right? The link I put into the chat takes you here, and if you click on this one right here, one quantitative variable, right? Takes you to this page where it's going to ask you like all this stuff, but all we really care about is typing in the numbers into here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and type. So how do I type those numbers in? I was supposed to type these in individually, like 155 and then comma the next number, 155, comma, space, 19, right? Oh, it doesn't save it. So be careful when you go back and forth, by the way. It looks like it deletes it. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Can I just copy all these numbers in one go? Will this work if I copy like this? So if I highlight all of them and then press Control C to copy, and then go over here, can I just paste all of these numbers? Oh, whoops, I had to, that's why I was deleting it. I had to do it from this page. So begin analysis, there we go. So, oh, it works. I can copy all of them and just paste it into this chart. Sweet, so that's, by the way, this is the same graph that I got earlier. I'll zoom in for you guys here so you guys can see a little bit better. And what I did was I went to this example and I just copied all these numbers and I pasted it into this right here for the data. And then I had the data right here create the dot plot for me. So instead of like, you know, Jada, it's not like your worst nightmare. You don't have to go in there and just make a number from 1 to whatever and then make the dots. You can just type the numbers into this website and it'll make the dot plot for you. And if you guys could, can you guys go ahead and screenshot this if you haven't done so already, and put it onto your notes right here. Again, let me share that link for that. Let me share that link for that again, though. So yeah, just paste it in your notes. It'll be right there, right? But let me go ahead and, no, I didn't mean to click on you. Oh, let me see here. Hope you don't mind, like, I'm weirdly excited at the fact that this works for you guys because I actually don't want you to do extra work of drawing a number line and making little dots along the way. So when you do your homework, I'm hoping your homework will be in a nice PDF form that you can copy and paste those numbers as well. But yeah, so I'm super excited for you guys for that, right? But so yeah, so too excited. Breathe. Okay, breathe. Okay, so let me get this site again. So it's on this site right here, right? The first link I gave you guys will take you to this page, and you're going to click on this one right here, one quantitative variable single group. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and give you the link for that. Straightforward. I mean, you're too excited, but look, it's so amazing, right? So this is the site for your dot plot, right? If you're not excited, come on, you got to be excited. So this site right here is where you type in your numbers, and then you hit begin analysis, and then it will graph it for you, right? Now, if you already have numbers typed in there, like this, and you hit begin analysis, and you go back here to retype it, it messes up. What you need to do is edit inputs, and then it will take you back so you can type in more numbers, okay? So there we go. We're going to clear that out, right? So you guys have this site open, okay? I'm going to double check that you guys are going to be okay with this. So I'm going to move the Pear Deck slide over to the blank slide, and I just want to see you guys copy and paste this next example. So let's do this together, okay? Let's do this together. We're going to look at this one right here for the U-try. Nuts. There's no commas here. Hold up. Oh, no, it's okay with spaces. Still excited, still excited. Look, separated with spaces is okay. Haha, so, all right, let's do this, okay? So what I want you to do right now is on your Cami, right, on your Cami, which is the notes right here, let's go down to the will do one / you try, which are these numbers right here. Can you guys go ahead, right, go ahead, highlight that and copy that. I am too excited, I know, Michael, but look, I didn't read this. You don't need commas between the numbers, you just need a space between them. So that means that you could just put in the numbers without commas and just put a space between them and it'll know. Look at that. Look at that. It knows where it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys now, can you guys make a dot plot for the will do / you try? And once you do that, can you screenshot that? And oh no, you guys can't paste onto Pear Deck, can you? I don't think you'll be able to paste it on the Pear Deck. I just realized that. But that's okay. You can paste it onto your notes. I'm too excited at the fact that you can do this, but either way, you can paste it into your notes, right? And that's what I want you guys to try. So can you guys try that? Go to the site, paste the numbers in here, and hit the begin analysis, and get your get your dot plot just to try it out. I'm going to try it with you. So what I'm saying is, with your mouse, click and drag and highlight all the numbers here. Once you have it highlighted, you press Control C, or if on your Mac you push Command C. I don't know if you can right click. Oh, you can right click and copy. So you can right click and copy those numbers. Then go to this tab, right, where this site is. You have the link is in the chat. Hopefully you have it open now. And you go in here and you just right click and you paste, or Control V. And you see all the numbers are in there with spaces there, right? I'm lost on the website. Otto, let me see. Do I have you on here? I do. Okay, so you're on the first page. So Otto, on the first page, which is this guy right here, you want to click on this one. One quantitative variable single group. Click on this one right here. One quantitative variable single group. Okay? One quantitative variable single group. And then when you click on that, it'll take you to this site. It'll take you to this site. Did my link not work correctly? The link I put into the chat right now, I'm gonna put it again, Otto, into the chat. It will take you straight to it, so you don't have to, you don't have to do all that. Okay, so once you have all those numbers in there, all you gotta do is hit begin analysis, and this is what your graph should have looked like. This is what your this is what your dot plot should look like. This is what your dot plot should look like. And if you need to, zoom in to get a better picture of it, you can use this to zoom in. And how do you paste a picture onto Cami? Oh, oh, crud. Oh, you're right. Can you paste that onto Cami? Oh, we're figuring this out together, guys. I think you can insert an image. So maybe what you have to do is you have to save it into your Google Drive. Oscar's saying, yeah, Google Drive. Okay, so it looks like it's not as easy as my OneNote, but when you screenshot it, take a screenshot, save it to your Google Drive, and then insert it that way. Insert it that way, right? So yeah, go ahead and do that. So by the way, what I was saying was if the dots are, yeah, it also saves in your files. Okay, that works. So you got to screenshot, save it, and upload it that way. So you can upload from your computer, from your files, wherever your screenshot saves to on your Chromebook. Yeah. So by the way, let me give you this last couple tips here. You see how this one, if the dot plot looks too small, right? You could always zoom in, right? Zoom in on your website, make the dot plot a little bit bigger, and then while it's zoomed in, take a screenshot of this. So that way it's of better quality. So I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that right there. And then for me, I can paste it because it's OneNote. But for you guys, just upload the save of your file that you have there. That's ginormous. Let's go back here and put you in like so. And there you go. Okay? And there you go. Oh, I've exhausted myself at how excited I got on being able to draw these dot plots with you guys. Right? So yeah, hopefully you guys get that down. And I needed to do this before you go today, which is talk about this real quick. From the dot plots, you can see most values cluster between. And this is what you guys need to do now. When you look at these dot plots, you also not only need to know how to make these using that site, but you need to know how to analyze this. And if I was looking at this graph, right, looking at this dot plot, where would you guys say most of your dots clump around? What would you say that it mostly clumps around for the first I'll do? What would you guys say to agree? Would you guys say like, I don't know, from 110 to 130, or would you say from like 100 to 150? What would you say most of your data clumps here? 110 to 120? Yeah, that looks good. 110 to 120. Would you also include 130? Would some people say 110 to 130? From here to here, right? That's not too bad. 100 to 150. That's a big range. You could do that, but that's kind of like almost covering like all your data, and it's not wrong, right? But you can be a little bit more accurate. More like 125. That's even better if you want to do it that way, like right around there, right? And that's one thing you need to be able to do is looking at these dots. Can you tell me where most of them cluster? And at the same time, looking at these dots, can you tell me if any of them look weird? Do any of them look unusual for your data right there? And I'm hoping you guys see that there is one dot that is pretty unusual here. And that's this dot right there, right? Hopefully you guys will write that down somewhere. You say that 78 looks unusual. I would say 78 looks unusual. And then for this new dot plot that we just did down here, right? I'd say most of these dots in here cluster somewhere around like 16 to. That's so spread though, right? This data looks so spread. I'd say like 16 to like, I don't know, 55. That's a very wide range. I wouldn't actually go with that, but that's where it looks like most of the data is, right? Looks like it's from 16 to 55. Anyways, guys, I got too excited for this, but I'll post your homework later today. You won't be able to do it just yet because there's still other graphs that we haven't gotten to yet. We've only gotten to 2 graphs out of the 6 graphs that are there, but I do want to put your homework there if you guys want to try these out, right? The stem and leaf in particular. And then for the dot plot in particular, you guys can just copy and paste the numbers into that site. I'll put the site on the homework link as well. That way you don't have to go looking for it. And yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. We'll continue this on Thursday. All right. That being said, have a good rest of your day, guys. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. All right. So long.